Today, December the 16th, today's talk is the continuation of what has been explained on previous days about Pamāda and Appamāda. Pamāda meaning negligence, failure, heedlessness. Appamāda, heedfulness. Previously, there was the explanation of Pamāda. The refined form of Pamāda is when one is fulfilling the wholesome deeds. Fulfilling the wholesome deeds if one is not respectfully or meticulously, thoroughly, not continuously, with gaps in between, resting, stopping, it is Pamāda. And Appamāda, as the yogis are now practicing Satipatthana meditation, one should take care so that one is respectful in the practice. Being respectful in the practice, noting the object, presently arising object, respectfully, meticulously, thoroughly, not letting any gaps in between, not practicing in stop and go manner. In this way, there is Appamāda. So yogi has to take care to be mindful continuously in the sitting meditation, walking meditation, as well as all the daily activities. During the day, from the very moment yogi wakes up, all the way until yogi falls asleep at night, during the entire day, yogi has to be mindful of every arising object, and it is Appamāda. If the yogi doesn't practice diligently, then the practice doesn't make as much progress. So when the person doesn't see as much benefit in the practice, when the person feels that the practice has not progressed, then yogi mind flinches off from the practice. Olina vodita. Olina vodita means the mind flinching away from the object. As the yogi is not as diligent enough, yogi takes the practice in an easygoing manner, practicing in an easygoing manner. It is olina vodita, meaning yogi is flinching off from the practice, and it is Pamāda. Nikkita chandata, meaning the will in the practicing gets deteriorated, and it is also a form of Pamāda. As the days gone by, and if the yogi cannot make progress, his or her will in the practice deteriorate, and it is also Pamāda. Nikkita durata, meaning lessening the duty, lessening in fulfilling the duty as a yogi. So in this way, yogi who doesn't practice diligently, there is Pamāda, flinching off away from the noting, practicing in easygoing manner, the chanda, the will in the practice deteriorate, as well as yogi lesson in practicing the duty of the yogi, and it is Pamāda. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it is said, Kaye Kayanupassi Viharati Atapi Sampajano Satima, and so on. Atapi means to have ardent effort. Atapa is the ardent effort. So in the Satipatthana meditation practice, the effort is here called as atapa, the ardent effort. Ardent effort is the kind of effort that is ardent in order to drive out the moist of defilements. So this effort, atapa, atapa, ardent effort, burns out the moist of the defilements. So in this way, as a yogi should exert the ardent effort so as to burn the moist of defilements. If the yogi is able to exert ardent effort one moment, for that moment, the ardent effort can dry out the moist of defilement. And again, yogi has to make the ardent effort moment by moment, again and again, noting whatever object that arises at the present moment, so that the defilement moist will become drier and drier as being burnt by this ardent effort. And when the defilement's moisture has been dried up by this ardent effort, yogi comes to discern clearly of the object that has been noted. Sambhajana. Sambhajana means it has been easily translated as clear comprehension. But in the word sambhajana, sam means correctly, completely, by oneself. It means the knowledge that yogi gets by being mindful of the object. Yogi discerns correctly, completely, by oneself. It is not the theoretical knowledge, but it is what the yogi discerns through his or her experience of practice. And in sambhajana, pa means variously, outstandingly. Variously here means yogi discerns the unique individual characteristics as well as common characteristics of impermanent suffering and non-self. The other day I explained that by noting the presently arising object, yogi can discern the nature, the characteristic of the object that has been noted. So in every nama rupa, they are the unique individual characteristics that are unique. For example, the earth element has the unique individual characteristic of hardness, softness, and so on. Temperature element has the unique characteristic of warmth, heat, cold. By being mindful of the presently arising object, yogi can come to notice unique individual characteristic of the object that has been noted. Just as when you eat the food, if you chew properly, you can come to notice different flavor, different taste in the food, such as sweet, sour, spicy, salty, and so on. In the same way, when you note the object carefully, aiming the mind onto the object, putting effort in the noting, when the mindfulness is sustained on the object, when the momentary concentration, the mindful, calm, collected on the object, yogi come to notice the nature such as stiffness, hardness, and so on. For example, when noting pain, for example, if the yogi doesn't note the pain, if one is not mindful, one just think it is pain. But when the yogi notes pain, yogi can come to know the nature, the unique individual characteristic of what is in the pain. At times, yogi might notice it as hardness, stiffness, or at times yogi might notice it as heat, warmth. And at times, yogi might notice it as vibration or pulling, pushing, movement. So in this way, yogi can come to notice what is the nature that is in the pain that yogi is noting. If one is not mindful, one thing that I have pain, my knee is in pain, my thigh is in pain, and so on. But when the yogi notes carefully the pain, yogi sees the pain itself, the nature such as hardness or stiffness or heat, and the noting mind that notes it. There is no I. Also, there is no knee or thigh. But what really one discerns is that the pain that is obvious as heat or hardness or stiffness, and the noting mind that notes it. So in this way, when the yogi sees the pain itself, there is no longer I, there is no knee, or there is no thigh. In this way, yogi comes to know correctly there is no I, there is no knee. What is there is the pain that manifests, or the pain that is obvious as hardness, stiffness, heat, and the noting mind that notes it. And if the yogi doesn't note the pain, yogi might think that this pain is staying for the whole 15 minutes, for the whole 30 minutes, for the whole hour, and so on. But if the yogi pay attention and noting the pain with aiming, directing the mind, putting effort in noting the pain, yogi notices not only the nature such as heat in the pain, but as the yogi notes it, this heat doesn't stay the same. It increases, decreases, or later on, yogi come to notice one heat pain arise, pass away, Another heat pain arise, pass away. Another heat pain arise and pass away. In this way, it is not just only one pain, but one pain arise, pass away. Another pain arise, pass away. Another pain arise, pass away. So when the yogi sees this, yogi also come to notice the impermanence. It is the common characteristic. Whatever nama rupa that arise has this common characteristic of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. In noting pain, yogi notices the unique individual characteristics such as heat, and as the yogi notes on, yogi also come to notice the impermanent, seeing one pain arise, pass away, another pain arise, pass away. And because it is constantly tormenting of this arising and passing away, it is suffering. There is no atta. It is arising in its own accord. In this way, yogi also come to know the common characteristic of impermanent, suffering, and non-self. In order to understand this, yogi should have patience and forbearance, especially when noting the pain. But if the yogi keep on changing posture every now and then, if the yogi changes posture whenever one cannot bear the pain, then keeping on changing posture, the sati and samadhi will not be as strong, and yogi cannot discern distinctly of these unique individual characteristics as well as the common characteristics. That's why yogis are asked to sit still, note the object with patience and forbearance. There is even the saying, patience leads to nibbana. So it means, especially in the Satipatthana practice, yogis should be patient and have forbearance in noting the object, especially the pain. So in this way, yogi should forbear the pain. And as the yogi come to know the nature, such as heat, and then this heat doesn't stay the same, one heat arise, pass away, another heat arise, pass away. In this way, when the yogi sees the pain itself, it is not so bad after all. There is only the physical pain and the mental mind, the mind that knows it. And yogi doesn't add the mental pain on the physical pain. If the yogi think I am in pain, then it's worse. When the yogi see the nature itself, the hardness, the heat, as well as the noting mind, and the heat doesn't stay, arise, pass away. At that stage, even though yogi is noting the pain, but it is interesting to see how it changes, how it arises, passes away. If the pain is a big area, yogi can pinpoint about 3 centimeters in diameter where the pain is most intense, and pinpoint where the pain is most intense, about 3 centimeters in diameter, noted pain, pain, pain. If the pain becomes excruciating, then you can lessen the effort just a little bit, but still be aware of the pain. And again, note the pain with more effort. And if the pain becomes excruciating, just lessen the effort just a little bit, but still be aware of the pain. And again, note with more effort. In this way, noting the pain energetically, yogi sees the unique individual characteristic and common characteristic. The pain doesn't stay constant, but the pain arise, pass away, another pain arise, pass away. And eventually, when the pain disappears, when noting it, when yogi come to see the dissolution of the pain, then yogi feels relieved because the pain goes away when noting it. So when this happens, yogi become courageous. The courage that the yogi puts up in noting the pain, once the yogi can note the pain until it disappears, yogi even feel courageous, very energetic. His or her samadhi, moment-free concentration, is stronger than the courage, the viriya, and the samadhi in noting pain. Makes the yogi make faster progress in the practice. So when it happens, yogi becomes courageous and would like to challenge the pain. Whatever the pain comes, I will note it. So in this way, yogi come to discern arising and passing away. When discerning arising, passing away, yogi have developed vipassana knowledge. In this way, yogi comes to notice nama rupa, cause and effect, as well as the impermanent suffering and non-self. So it is sampajana. Sampajana means knowing correctly, completely, by oneself, in various manner, outstandingly. It is sampajana. Sampajanya is the knowledge. And as the yogi continues the practice, practicing diligently, yogi comes to discern fast arising and passing away of the objects. Whatever object has been noted, yogi discerns the fast arising and passing away, the nama rupa in a complete flux. So at this stage of Uddiyabhya Jnana, Saddha, faith and confidence become amazingly strong. Here it is called adhimokha. Adhimokha means firm acceptance, resolution, and confirmation. As the yogi practices good, yogi comes to have faith and confidence in the practice, and his or her confidence becomes adhimokha, firm acceptance, confirmation, and resolution that this practice is right. This is the right way to practice. And viriya becomes pakaha. Here it is called pakaha because the effort, it doesn't go down, it doesn't stagnate in the middle, but it goes up, and thus viriya at this stage is called pakaha, uplifting effort. Hiri and ottappa moral shame and moral fear. Yogi has the moral shame and moral fear from losing or failing to know the object. Yogi takes utmost care to be able to note even the small, minute details in the object. In this way, his or her moral shame and moral fear of missing to note even the small, minute object, such as blinking of the eye, opening and closing of the eye, and so on. Sati, mindfulness become amazingly strong, being able to note everything, almost everything. Samadhi, concentration, become very strong. Panya, knowledge becomes clear-cut. In the beginning of the practice, yogi has to be encouraged by teachers, the Kalyanamitta, to practice diligently. But when the yogi gets to the stage of Uddiyabhaya Jnana, his or her practice encourages the yogi himself, herself. His or her practice encourages the person to continue the practice. And at this stage, it is an Amanusirati. Yogi gains the Dhamma happiness that excels many times than the worldly happiness. In the beginning, the person thinks highly of the sensual pleasure, but when the yogi reaches, at least till this Uddiyabhaya Jnana, the Dhamma happiness excels many times than the worldly happiness, that the person doesn't think of the worldly happiness as highly as before, because this Dhamma happiness excels. But yogi has to be careful not to be attached in his or her own experience. If one is being attached in this good experience, one cannot make further progress. And as the yogi practices onwards, it is said that if the yogi reaches Uddiyabhaya Jnana, and if the yogi continues to practice diligently, systematically, according to the instruction, then this person, yogi, can attain Nibbana in this very life. And if the person has attained at least the first path and fruition knowledge, there is a guarantee that the person will never be born in lower existences. But the journey doesn't end here. The person has to keep on practicing till one attains the fourth path and fruition knowledge and become an arahat. But at least while coming across this Buddha Sasana as a human being, one should practice this Appamāda at least till the first path and fruition knowledge, so that it will be worthy of coming across this Buddha dispensation. So Appamāda will be fully accomplished when one becomes an arahat. So this is the ultimate goal of our practice. And may you all be able to practice diligently so that you will attain your goal in this meditation practice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.